Welcome back to Retro Rebound. In today's video, got a little haul for you, but it's not from our usual spot, with the GameStop Roulette. Not this time around. I took your feedback into consideration, and I'm doing exactly what you asked me to do. I went around to a bunch of retro game shops, and I'm here to put them on the map as per your request. Whenever I went to the pre-owned and retro gaming section over on GameStop, their selections really dried up. I feel like we might be somewhat responsible for that, so I do apologize. But it's not like the series is dead. We just need to figure out something in the meantime so we can continue to do these haul videos. And so I went to your feedback and we did just that. Where did I go, you may ask? I went to Niagara Falls. Look at this doofy guy in an elevator. I stayed at the Marriott. It was out there that I got engaged to my now lovely fiance, and it was a magical week, but I took care of business while I was out there. Your boy got a haul. That's what I was really there for. Forget the engagement ring. It was a really, really great time. We had a beautiful Florida window that we could see the Niagara Falls from. I mean, I was living luxurious for a couple of days, man. It was pretty incredible. But when I got out there, you game collectors know I did the one faded Google search that we all do when we arrive to a new location. Video game stores near me. And it was there I learned we had quite a few shops to pick from throughout Niagara Falls, specifically in St. Catharines. And I'm going to spotlight them here today as I go through my haul. So if you're new here, you're into retro game hauls and all that good stuff, you're in the right place. Consider subscribing. Let's get started with the top one. I always like to do these videos too to kind of tease upcoming content, things I'm playing with, see what you all want to see me play, because that sometimes dictates what content we make. Final Fantasy VIII. This is a beautiful copy. We don't put enough respect on the jewel cases, but look at this, man. Look at the art on the disc. It's reflective. This is a stacked case with multiple discs. You see my man Squall really pondering life on the back of this manual here. It's a mini walkthrough, which I thought was really cool. I don't own many PS1 games, and for those who don't know, I never owned a PS1 ever in my lifetime. It's a completely missed generation, which is why I've had so much fun going back to old Squaresoft games. A lot of people have requested, with my love of Final Fantasy 13, Maddie, you got some weird FF opinions. Why don't you give the often slandered one a try? So it's this game and Tactics Ogre I want to get to in the Square Enix library before this year is out. And I'm pledging to myself, I'm going to do that. So expect a video before the end of the year on Final Fantasy VIII and Tactics Ogre. Tactics Ogre I'm about 5 hours into right now. We're chipping along at it. And I think I'm going to start this one soon because I'm just so curious. This one ran me about 30 bucks though. Pretty cheap, all things considered. One store I went to was called Gaming Gators. Now, Gaming Gators was, out of the three I went to, the least exciting one. It felt kind of corporate. I think the best retro game stores are the ones that you go to and you're like, it feels like I'm kind of home here. You have interactive employees, you talk games with them while you shop. That's what I'm typically looking for. Here, it was just business as usual, quiet guy in the back, counting up his games, and that's fine. But it was just like, all right, I'm here to pick up a couple of things and that'll be it. So I picked up 3 games while I was there. The first one being a really interesting one. You may or may not recognize this, but I made a joke when I saw the PSP section. I said to Laylee, I was like, yo, what if they had Trails here? Wouldn't that be funny? Because that's where this series really started after the PC. And lo and behold, I pull out whatever this is. And I see all of the Sky characters from the trilogy. I'm like, yo, they have Trail stuff. It was 10 bucks. I peeled off the sticker here. It was very adhesive, though. That's another thing I don't get. How do you run a game shop and still have stickers that literally, like, listen. How do you allow that to happen? So, anyways, pick this one up on complete impulsivity, if that's even a word. And yeah, it's just literally like a soundtrack video game with art and music. It's kind of rare though from what I looked at online, but this cost me 10 bucks. It does come with a manual and a UMD, and I don't know, just as a Trails fan, like I don't have any of the old Trails stuff. I have yet to get the complete versions of anything on Vita or on PSP. So I thought this was at least a cheap starting point at best. I have the whole Cold Steel saga on my PS5. Look at that, Estelle and Joshua. I love that. So yeah, when I saw this was like a no-brainer for me, but it's definitely like my most niche one here. So fret not, you'll know most of the games I have after this. The next one I grabbed, BioShock Infinite. I didn't know this, but it says it includes the original BioShock. Yeah, so complete in box. Love the inside art for this one, by the way. The reverse cover art for this game, underrated indeed. But it also comes with a full manual and a good one at that. Colored and everything. I mean, they did a great job. And I love BioShock Infinite. I've noticed over the years that people have really just turned up. They hate it. It's not that good. There's that section in the middle. It's too long. Give me a break, man. That game is God tier. I love BioShock Infinite. I will go to a war for Ken Levine, man. This game is masterful. That ending in the Burial at Sea DLC, pure genius. God tier storytelling, man. So yeah, I had to pick this one up. Why, you may be asking? There's been so many rumors about BioShock coming back in some form, some way, some shape. And we've heard live service rumors, unfortunately. But I know when that starts popping off, I already have BioShock 1, BioShock 2 in the collection. I recognized I didn't have Infinite, and so I went and grabbed it. I did get this for PS3. I have the rest for 360, which kind of stinks because I like to have them all uniform. But I wanted to get it when I was on the mind. It's one I've been meaning to grab for a while. This is about $10, so I was like, all right, let me just grab it so I don't forget. The only thing that bothered me, and I didn't realize it until I was home in America, is I got all this French on my games, and I was like, oh man. So now this isn't like the official US copy, which is typically the most expensive. So something to keep in mind if you're doing a little international game shopping. I'm dead serious about that. I kid, but I'm also serious. The third game I got from Gaming Gators was this weird one here. This one ran me about, I think, almost $30. Metroid Other M. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I've been really boning up my Wii collection, though, over time. Like, I got some of the what was it? Clash of Ninja games. I've got some Sonic games there. Like, I'm building it up because the Wii was a game, like, I played Twilight Princess, I played Wii Sports, and then I was just like, all right, deuces. I'm off to my GameCube again, I think, or which is funny, right? Because it literally played GameCube games, so that's how smart I was as a kid. But really, the PS2 and stuff I stuck with. But Other M seems to be, based on what I read online and what people said when I posted my haul on my Twitter account, it was like, oh, what could have been? So I'm interested in that one, but it defines a cinematic story of Samus Aran's past, upgrade weapons as you explore, 2 views, most action-packed Metroid game ever. I don't know, just after playing, and this game, by the way, one of the fattest manuals for a non-RPG game I think I've ever seen. This is ridiculous, but it's beautiful. But after playing Metroid Dread, I mean, I love Dread. That was one of my favorite games. And when it came out last year, I should say. But when I was playing that, I was like, I should play more of this series. Like, I've held off on Prime for so long because I figured the trilogy would be remastered on Switch by now, but I was wrong on that. So I never got around to it, unfortunately. And now I'm just waiting. So I figured I'll just pick this one up, throw it in the stash. I still got to get Prime 2 Echoes and all that stuff, so I still have a ways to go on my Metroid collection, but this was a start. All right, next was easily my favorite shop. And I know it was my favorite shop because I actually took out my phone and recorded the place I was in. It's a place called Mixed Styles. It's in St. Catharines. It's across the street from this awesome Mexican restaurant that we went to right after, so it was in a perfect spot. The staff there was friendly and engaging. They were negotiable, which was cool, but they were just really kind. Like, you're very common Canadian, if you will. Like, oh, that's a good game, eh? I was like, yeah, I love to see that. But yeah, I love interactive staff, and their pickings were good, by the way. Across every store I went to, the selection was fantastic. But these last 2 stores I'm going to get into, I did save for last. But this one I knew I really liked because when I'm on vacation, I'm out of content creator mode. I'm not filming everything, thinking of what games I can go and try to make videos on. I'm not plotting, because my brain's in that for like 300 plus days a year. So I need some type of breakaway. But I did break out the phone. I was like, people got to see this. So this place is legit. I just love the selection there. And so it's the place I spent the most at. Because in my mind, like, my money goes to the right source at that point and hopefully, keeps them in business, because I know it's tough to run a retro gaming shop from what I've been told. So I figured, like, I should just support the places with my own dollar. And so that's what I did. I spent like almost $300 there. So let's start off small here. First 2 games I got, we're going to do them in a batch. Ultimate Ninja Heroes 1 and 2. I'm waiting for my moment with my Naruto games. Like, that's the quiet part of me no one really knows about. I'm like the Sasuke Uchiha when it comes to all this stuff because, you know, everyone thinks that you're the RPG guy, the JRPG guy, and you're not wrong. But little do you know, just like with the Dragon Ball games, when I was able to unleash my potential on the internet, that the Naruto games are waiting to be covered. And I remember Ultimate Ninja Heroes 2 specifically because I bought this game when Best Buy sold a Japanese import of it. Shout out to anyone who knows about that, by the way. But I remember as a huge Naruto fan, this was one of the dumbest things ever. But shout out to my mom for just trusting me for whatever reason. So we go to Best Buy. And I'm like, all right, I want to get a Naruto game. I find this game, but it's in complete Japanese. And I say, I want that. I'm going to buy that. And my mom's like, are you sure? It's in Japanese. And I remember being at the counter, the employee's trying his best to talk me out of it. It's not in English. Are you sure? When you buy this, it's brand new. You can't return it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. What was I thinking? Because I get home and I try to play it. I'm like, oh, huh. It's not fine. I don't know what I'm looking at all. So I actually never played the game in the terms of a story, but I did play some of the Phantom Fortress mode as I think you go up like floors and whatnot. And I just love the idea of the Ultimate Ninja games being on the go, much like I talked about Shin Budokai on this channel. So this felt like a chance for redemption for me. So I got both of them here. We got Ultimate Ninja Heroes 1, complete. Absolutely. Look at this manual, dude. I know some of these manuals from Canada are always thicker because they're in 2 languages, but oh my God. The girth on my games is nutty. That's a sentence I probably should take back, but whatever. Anyway, Ultimate Ninja experience on the go, just like you wanted that, you know, that Budokai experience on the go. You got it here. Bandai was on one here, especially because you got black outfit Sasuke here with his curse mark eyes. Shout out to my boy. Sasuke was my first love in anime. Like, when I saw him, I was like, I want to be like him. I remember, this is a corny story. I remember before school, we'll take a look at this in the meantime. Before 6th grade, that's when I started watching Naruto with, like, the Genin arc. And I remember my friend was like, you know, what's your energy going to be like in school? And I said, I'm going to be like Sasuke Uchiha. Grow up, man. My God, bro. Anyway, really, really stellar manual here. And then we're to the other language. But anyway, awesome find there. Both of these sat around the $15, $20 range. Not too expensive. PSP games are like ones I always recommend people take because they, for some reason, are dirt cheap. I don't know why, but they are. This one was the most expensive purchase I made while I was out there. The Last Story. Now, this is the collector's edition. And the reason I picked this up is because the developer, Mistwalker, made one of my favorite JRPGs that we've made a video about here on the channel, Lost Odyssey. They also made Blue Dragon, which was with Akira Toriyama, so it has that Dragon Ball art style. I got to get to that one. And they also made this game here, Last Story, which I've heard excellent things about. And it is, get it, like a book, kind of cool here. It is, yes, a Wii game. But yes, a Hironobu Sakaguchi game with music by Nobuo Uematsu. Winning combination to me. I don't know about y'all, but I was like, yep, give me that right away. So it does come with an art book here. This cost me $100 because it did not come with the soundtrack. But when it came with the soundtrack and I was looking on eBay, it was upwards of $250. And so I thought to myself, let me take my chances, get it here for what is a reasonable price. I'm supporting the right place, I feel. It's not an awful price. In fact, it was actually kind of underpriced, in my opinion. So I was thinking, all right, well, I'm going to go for it. And if I one day happen across the soundtrack, which I doubt will ever happen individually, because I don't know how you own that, but not the rest of the game in the art book. If I ever do, I can fill it in, but I don't know, like soundtracks, and this is coming from me, like I love all the random doodads you get in games, but soundtracks are definitely the thing that I don't like hold an attachment to, because I don't know the last collectible CD I don't even own a CD player, man. Like I don't need these. So to me, the art book means more. It was there. It was in good condition. We have The Last Story here, complete in box. Published by Xseed, always a nice sign there, especially back in these times. And I think this was like 2010, 2009, something like that. But yeah, interesting game. Don't know a thing about it, just the way I like it. Character concepts are fresh though. And in Mistwalker, we trust, man. They pumped out some seriously good JRPGs during this era where they were making console games. But it seems very different. I'm keen on learning more. Definitely want to make a retro rebound on it, but I want to probably do Blue Dragon first. At least try it. Make a video on that maybe. But this one, I'm really, really interested in learning more on. So I saw it there. They gave it to me for $100. That was a great price. Of course, the collector's edition here is pretty awesome. So that is the last story. The last game that I picked up while I was at this Mixed Styles place, which, by the way, they sold clothes there too, which was really interesting. It was a very unique storefront, is this Dragon Ball game here, Revenge of King Piccolo. So as many of you may or actually may not know, I want to collect all the Dragon Ball games at some point in time. The reasonable ones, though, that aren't like, you know, Legacy of Goku 1 doesn't need to take up shelf space is what I'm trying to say. Dragon Ball Z Sagas does not need to take up shelf space. It's just not necessary. But Revenge of King Piccolo, I've never played, so I want to figure out if that's worth it or not. I like it because it's an original Dragon Ball game. Every legend has a beginning here, and you can see that's exactly what it is with young Goku, Krillin. You see Yamcha with a different haircut here. So I'm really interested in learning more about this game. Otherwise, I don't know much about it. It was $45. So I thought, all right, well, let's give it a shake here. I've heard good things. And what is this? Huh. High Score Games. Is that what the name they go by is? Because outside there's a sign that says Mixed Styles. Maybe that's what they go by, but this is them. Yeah. 40 Hartzell Road. This is where we went. So yeah, hey, shout out to them if you ever want to check them out. They have an online store, I believe. But Mixed Styles was the thing that was out front that I saw. Anyway, really cool storefront. And here we have the manual, which is also in good condition. That's what I loved about this store too. Like everything was just in good condition. And I didn't really question any of the quality there. Like the back of the disc art, perfect. Like it's all you could ever ask for. So they took good care of their stuff, friendly staff. Black and white manual, not crazy about, but keen to learn more about this game. And so that's what a complete box copy of Revenge of King Piccolo looks like. So that was the haul I got from like my favorite store. That's where I spent the most time, spent the most money. Like I picked up the phone, called my mom. That's where I made sure Ultimate Ninja Heroes was not in my collection. I was like, yo, you got to check, make sure, because I'm not home. I can't look. And I just got to load my whole collection into my phone at this point because it's getting that big now where I am at times forgetting, did I play this or not? Did I own this or not? And so I just need to use the Game Eye app. I've used it in the past, just update my whole collection and do it that way. So the next store I went to was called NEX Game Store, which is the Niagara Entertainment Exchange. This is the first one we went to. I don't want to say anything rude. Vibes weren't strong, though. Place kind of smelled of cigarettes. Not my favorite. But I pulled up there. Collection was great. But the problem is with some of these game stores is they keep their whole collection away from the consumer. So I can't pick it up and check the quality of the case at least. So I'm just kind of like standing my hands in my pockets, leaning over the counter, trying to see in the distance like what they have. And again, the selection was fantastic. And so the only pickup I made there was one that I don't think many of you are going to expect here, but we got the Tales of Exilia limited edition. This was a game that I remember playing back in, I want to say college, first year of college. You want to hear a self-destructive story? Here you go. So Tales of Exilia is a game I picked up and I beat in a week. Now, what typically happened towards the end of summer is I would wind down my sleep schedule because it's time to get ready for school and get up at like 6 a.m. for God knows what reason. So what does Maddie do? He picks up a JRPG and tries to beat in a week, and I pulled a bunch of 5 a.m.er all-nighters to beat the game, and I did. My sleep schedule was wrecked for school, but I always started making this a tradition eventually at that point because it was like my last hurrah. I'm like, why don't I just have the last hurrah the week before? But it just felt better. Maybe a little vindictive. Maybe a little bit of an attack on schools. And so that's why I was like, you know what? I don't like going to school anyway. So this is the way I can cope with it. So I got Tales of Exilia limited edition. I remember loving this game, man. I really do. What is it? Jude and Mia, I think is her name. 2 heroes, 2 nations, 2 ideologies, 1 struggle. Jude Mathis and let's see here. Yeah. Mila Maxwell is her name, but it comes with a music CD, comes with a character booklet, the game itself. And again, I was really impressed with the quality of the pickings here, not only because this is a pretty unique find at a store, but also like the quality of the cardboard box was great. The quality of the art book and the CD, as you can see here, was all great. And you can check it out for yourself. I mean, this is practically brand new. And this game was awesome. I mean, I'd love to cover the Tales of series on this channel at some point. The problem is JRPGs do so well on this channel. There's so many to go through or return to. I remember loving this character. What's his name again? His character concept always jived with me here. Alvin, I remember him. Yeah, there's a part in this game where it feels like it's the end and it begins again. I remember Alvin was a big part of it. It's been so long, though, because, again, you beat it in a week and you just kind of forget about it. The CDs here, though, and then you have the 15th anniversary logo here with a complete box copy of the DLC voucher, which is more than likely expired. It doesn't really say here. This game came out in 2011, so shout out to Skyrim. Any game that came out that year was just drowning in Skyrim for me. So that is what I got from that store. We do have one more game I wanted to show off because, I like to tease content here, but let me just get this safely in the package first. Don't want to destroy any of the goods here, especially like these cardboard boxes give me anxiety. It's like loading up a Game Boy Advance box. It's like, oh God, I don't want to accidentally tear this up at all, but it looks like we're good. Oh, art book is fighting with me here. Hold on. There we go. So yeah, this cost me about 45 bucks. Not too bad of a price. Last game I got here. Shout out to my buddy Soul. He helped me out with this one. So Attack of the Saiyans, probably the most requested Dragon Ball game that we get to, but for me, I want to actually play it because it's not like the other Dragon Ball games where I could lean into my personal knowledge that I've played these games before and kind of talk off that. Those videos are easy to produce, but the ones where I haven't played, I want to make sure I give them their due diligence. So I haven't played this game, but the problem with this game was all I had when I bought this back in 2020 was ye old cartridge. Now, my buddy Soul was downsizing his collection, but he wouldn't let go of his Attack of the Saiyans. So for $90, I bought the manual and the case so I could give all of you, as always in Retro Rebound tradition, the complete box experience. So shout out to Soul for relinquishing this. I promised him one day he will get it back, but for now, it is mine. This is a turn-based Dragon Ball game, though, and I'm keen to, again, lay my hands on it. Hey, look at that. That's kind of funny. I didn't know about this. The Revenge of King Piccolo promo on the back. But yeah, I'm just very interested in an RPG built off the Saiyan arc, which is one of my favorite arcs in all of Dragon Ball. But this is a really expensive complete box copy game now, so I'm happy to have it. Again, shout out to Soul for making this possible. But it's something I want to cover on the channel. I don't know if I'll get it before the year's end just because I do want to do the full playthrough, and I'm trying to do Tactics Ogre and Final Fantasy VIII. Like, those are the high priority ones. So we'll see. But ladies and gentlemen, that is my haul of $400+ across all of these wonderful games. Check them out right here. Really good haul here. I mean, Niagara Falls was popping with good games and at good prices too. I was happy to pay the price for all of these. So I had a blast out there. If you live in the area, maybe you've already heard of these stores, but if not and you're nearby, I would definitely recommend High Score Games or Mixed Styles, whichever name they go by. Again, I don't know, but they were the store, in my opinion. Like, they had the hugest selection. They had the nicest staff. I said hugest. Sorry. It's late. Biggest selection, nicest staff. They were just rad. So I would recommend taking a look at them. But otherwise, the pickings are really good. The places were nice. The copies, as you can see, were clean. I didn't really have to do any cleanup work on them outside of some sticker removal, and there's some adhesive there. But it was good stuff. So that is my $400 haul from all of those stores in Niagara Falls. If you like that and you want to see me do more, let me know. Certainly when I travel, I will do this type of game shopping and I'll provide you that content. Other than that, let me know what games you're picking up. Fire away down below. And with that, I will catch all of you in the next Retro Rebound. Peace out.